Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Town of Delafield Board of Supervisor meeting for Tuesday, January 13th. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the roll, please.
Supervisor Mahoney-Ogden.
Present.
Supervisor Miller.
Present.
Supervisor Wolfley.
Present.
Supervisor Berkowitz.
Present.
Chairman Kranek.
Present.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, citizens' comments. Public comments from citizens regarding items on or not on the agenda. The board may not engage in discussion with a citizen making the comments. Individual presentations are limited to 3 minutes, and citizens shall follow the rules outlined in section 2.04(1)(d) of the Town Code. Not seeing any citizens who'd like to make any comments, so I'm going to close the citizen comment period and move on to item 5, approval of the December 9th, 2025 regular town board minutes.
Motion to approve December 9th, 2025 regular town board minutes.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Next item, item 6, approval of vouchers. So I look for a motion to approve accounts payable and payroll.
Motion to approve payroll check register December 12th, 2025 in the amount of $17,412.49. Check register December 19th, 2025, checks dated 69108 through 69132 in the amount of $34,913.10. Payroll register dated January 2nd, 2026 of $14,736.08. Check register dated January 13th, checks 69133 through 69178 in the amount of $10,152,590.60. Payroll check register January 26th of 2026, amount of $17,183.91.
A second.
Motion and a second to approve. And just to clarify, the one number is really big. It's like $10 million. That number is big because of the payments to the other taxing entities that we collect property taxes for, the school districts in the county. So that's why that number is as big as it is, because it's just that time of the year. So there's a motion and a second to approve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Next item, communications for discussion, possible action. Included in the packet is the December 2025 Waukesha County Sheriff's Reports. Any questions on that?
Thank you.
Seeing no questions, I would like a briefing at some point from the Sheriff's Department on overall crime in the town of Delafield. I know it was very concerning. We read the article in the Freeman about the 3 Chileans who were caught doing those burglaries on the northern side of the town. So at some point, if I could get a briefing from the Sheriff's Department, that'd be great. And then I see that Sheriff Severson has announced that he's going to be retiring at the end of his term, so congratulations to Sheriff Severson, and appreciate his service. Does anybody else have any comments regarding the Sheriff's Department?
Nope.
No comments regarding the Sheriff's Department. Move on to item B, January 2026 budget to actual. We're only 13 days into the new year, so there's not much to see. So.
Right. And the finalized numbers for 2025 will be reported after the audit is complete. So then I'll be able to give you guys a better closing amount from 2025.
Item C, candidates running for town supervisor. Congratulations, Supervisor Berkowitz and Supervisor Miller. We're doing such a great job. Nobody else wants to run for those positions. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
item D, an update on the 2025-2026 resident survey. All I can say is, the response is frankly disappointing. I know we're going to do another blast that it's out there through the email system. I've also reached out to Jim Frett because I know that he had a pretty robust email and asked him to blast that out to his folks if he's still got that email list around. And if anybody else has any other ideas to kind of up the response rate, I'm open to suggestions.
I did just want to comment real quick on there was a comment for number 3 on the communication and notification, where the person indicated a neighbor had to tell me about this survey. It was in the newsletter that was in every single tax bill. I know that maybe not everybody reads the inserts that's in there, but on top of that, it was blasted out on our website, which I can do again tomorrow. And then signs posted around local, grocery store and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if there's any other ideas.
I'll post something on my Facebook page.
Well, and my
too.
question, so I personally did not open the tax bill this year, so I kind of forgot about it. My husband did. So then I said to him, because usually I look at it because, we were part of designing it. I remember last year, really kind of seeing. So he said, which maybe well, I don't know, I didn't notice it. This year, was it another color? Because I know in the past we've made a color, and I know we decided not to make a color because it's too expensive. But then I know Pewaukee Lake Sanitary puts it on another color. What do we do with it this year?
It was just on a white piece of paper and black and white.
So maybe that's something we consider is even just popping it on another color to just make people notice it more. As opposed, that's just
The
for next year.
text or the paper?
The paper. I mean, we could make it color, which we've done in the past, and I know that was more expensive, but since this didn't really have a very good response, and actually I also saw I saw a friend, and so I asked him, did you fill out the survey? And he's like, what survey? I know he opened his tax bill. So that's just a thought. Maybe we'd look at just another color paper, just something to maybe get the attention. Just a thought.
That'd probably be the least costly.
It would certainly be more costly, and I think we've done things like that in the past. Certainly Pewaukee Lake Sanitary does in their newsletter. I think.
I'll check with the
Thoughts,
county
anybody? To
if
get
that's
people to
something the printer
realize it's
does.
there?
Maybe add a QR code
Add QR code.
Yeah.
that affects the younger generation.
Which I thought we were doing. We didn't do it. We just did the questions. Okay. That's.
If I have something to click on, like a
Easy.
link, I'll click on it, but we don't have that with paper.
Right.
The other thing, I don't know how we affect it, but a number of people go online to pull their tax bills. They know they're out, they're not waiting for mail, they're out of town, they want to pay them. But I know a number of people who just go online and pull it off, so they're not getting, or they don't care about the mail.
Okay.
Okay, that's a good point.
Well, maybe we can,
Why don't we
maybe
hit
we
that?
could even
Well,
just
there's-
add the insert to the tax bill to the website and blast that out, so.
Right
people
on
see
the
it.
tax bill,
On the
maybe.
tax bill,
Yeah,
link on the tax bill if they go digitally.
that's a great idea.
Okay.
But there's some, there were some positive things in there. I mean, I want to, highlight people are happy with our highway department and the way that they're plowing and maintaining their roads. So that was nice.
93% approval rating on our DPW.
Nice.
A lot of people responded to the skate park.
Right.
For responses.
Right.
So if there's no other comments on the survey? Anything on the survey to say? Okay, next item, item E, WTA update, district and upcoming county unit meeting. Next county unit meeting is going to be Wednesday, January 28th, Town of Merton, 6:30. We're going to have special agent from Department of Revenue, alcohol beverage enforcement from Waukesha County come as our speaker. Also, the district meetings are coming up in March. The two closest are March 13th, it's a Friday in Whitewater, March 14th in Beaver Dam, and then there's a virtual session on March 30th and 31st. The big thing is it's a good opportunity to get your border review certificate training during that time. And then they're going to have a session about EMS, and one size doesn't fit all when it comes to the EMS, public safety, fire department issues in the state.
Can you see those dates once again, please?
Sure. Friday, March 13th in Whitewater, and then Saturday, March 14th in Beaver Dam, and then there's a virtual opportunity on March 30th and 31st in the morning.
Terry, I have the magazine over here if you want to
Okay.
peruse it after the meeting.
And then just want to let people know that the Towns Association, in partnership with Scott's Construction, Rural Mutual Insurance, are announcing their 2026 WTA Scholarship Contest. Invite Wisconsin graduating high school seniors to participate by innovatively writing an essay answering this year's question for a chance to win one of 10 $1,000 scholarships. This year's 2026 essay question: what strategies can be implemented by local government officials in collaboration with citizens to encourage and maintain civility? So it's open to anybody graduating from a Wisconsin public or private high school who is going to attend a Wisconsin public or private college. So just want to put that out there. Item F, Public Works snowplow and salt update. Administrator Lutke.
I'm hoping that you guys saw the email that I sent out during one of the last snow events indicating how much salt we used on the road and the overall satisfaction of the residents in the community, along with the resident survey responses. I just wanted to highlight how great of a job our DPW is doing. We are currently down one truck, and we'll be talking about that at a later time.
Yeah, I just want to, obviously thank the highway department, that they're out there on New Year's Day, they're out there on the weekends, making sure that our roads are passable, especially with whatever's happening with the climate. They're dealing with a lot more ice than I remember, them dealing with in the past, and looks like it's going to get cold again next week. So.
Public Works specific to snowplow, or have a comment? I was talking to Don. He was plowing by my house as I was shoveling. So I don't know. In the Public Works piece, I don't know how much he's talked to you guys about it or not before, but I've seen a couple times that there's been like tires dumped on Gulf Road or Silvernail.
Yeah, we just picked those up.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I figured because they don't last there that long.
Nope.
But I don't know if that's. I'm assuming that'd be like state level or something. If we wanted to request like cameras at off ramps.
Right. Well, we've had a lot of dumping happening in the little creek that's off of Highway 83 on the Lapham Peak side, Scuppernong Valley Court, I think it's called. There's somebody that's dumping a lot of their debris out there, and they are aware now that we're picking it up because they're blocking the creek. So if anything, we're going to probably put a trail cam out there.
Cool.
If we haven't already.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that is. Keep forgetting to bring it up, but that's a piece that.
Isn't
like to
there, if it
address.
tends to be tires, and again, maybe you guys know, isn't there some place that you can take them and they give
Yeah,
you
it costs
some-
money. That's why they dump
Well,
them.
yeah, but at least we can put it out. I don't know if it's one of those
I mean,
links we put on
they
our
dumped a
website.
couch in the creek,
Pardon me?
a 3-piece couch. I mean, it's more than just tires. It's just anything that they
Anything
don't
they don't
want
want it,
to
yeah.
get a dumpster for.
Yep.
Well,
Okay.
that's a state highway, so maybe we can get more enforcement or more eyes out there. So.
Sure.
So thank you, Public Works Department.
Yes.
Item 8, unfinished business for discussion, possible action. Item A, Waukesha County Recycling Intergovernmental Agreement.
So the memo that I put in there was just a recap of what we had initially talked about with some of the additional information that I had. I did print off a couple extra items for you guys today that I received today and also forwarded that email to you. I think it's important to note that that Waukesha County has made significant changes to the agreement. There's only a handful of communities that are left that have not signed the agreement. Town of Brookfield and City of Oconomowoc have signed the current agreement. The biggest piece, at least for me, is that initially the county had indicated that they were going to take on any additional costs that were associated with tonnage and so forth, but they didn't have it written in the contract. It was just like a gentleman's agreement, a verbal, but they have since in today's version included option I, or not option I, item I that said that the county shall pay the cost of haulage of recyclables in excess of the municipality's cost of haulage. So that's a bit of a win for the communities that were kind of fighting this. The overall program still has a lot to be desired. but the changes are going to have to be made on a statewide level through changes in legislature law in order to make this a more successful type of program, given the new recycling methods that we have these days that weren't, available in the 90s. So, City of Waukesha, City of Pewaukee, Village of Neshota, and us are the only ones left in the county that have not signed on to this agreement. I'm not sure if you have any other comments about it. A lot of these items that they added in were requested and included. So if you are comfortable with this if you're comfortable with this agreement as it stands with the agreements from today, we can move forward. Otherwise, I would say we would just push it on to the next meeting because we only got this today. Maybe you guys need a little bit more time to look it over.
Yeah, I guess
more time too.
the way I'd like to move forward would, I'd like to have a representative from the county come and talk to us and give us a presentation. And really, the big thing is, when you read through everything, there's a $2 million hole at the end of the day. And, I don't expect, town ratepayers or town taxpayers to help cover that. And I want to, understand what the plan is to cover that moving forward.
Right. So I will reach out to Alan Barrows and see if he'll come to possibly the next meeting, or is it okay if he comes maybe in February?
Yeah, if you can come to
See when
either
he's
the next
available?
meeting or the February meeting.
Great.
It
I
doesn't
just-
seem like there's a lot of urgency to get this
Yeah.
done, but let's.
It's like this is too soon having it today. I was hoping that you would not do anything today, but it's up to you. But I'll invite him to come to one of the meetings and talk about this in more detail. Great.
Item B, continuing Lake Country Fire and Rescue referendum discussion. This is going to be basically on every agenda moving forward until we hold the referendum. But I think Administrator Lutke has done a really good job of laying out kind of the timeline of what we got to do in this.
We could rush the timeline and push it up, but I don't think that it would give our residents enough time to understand what the full impact is for the town. We want to make sure we get the why of it out there to the residents. So currently I'm waiting for numbers to come in from Chief Fenig from Lake Country Fire. And once we start getting those numbers in, that's when we're going to start putting stuff out there for the residents. I'm going to probably create another sign-up group specifically to fire updates only, that people that are supremely interested can fill out their email, and then every time something happens, I'll send out a blast. Other than that, do you have any ideas of how we can initially engage the residents on the informational piece to let them know this is coming? Later on, once we have everything kind of set, I was going to propose a postcard. But in the interim, aside from the news blasts every time, is there anything additional?
I think
that
we
you'd
could
like
do
to see?
signs, good old fashioned. I mean, they're not that expensive. We can just put out kind of like kind of the election or just the signs. And we just disperse them around the town. We could put up a few signs at the grocery store with a link or a QR code or something, just so it'd be a start. That would be for people who aren't going to go online, who aren't going to be receiving a newsletter. They might just drive by and see a sign.
Do you want me to take out an ad in the newspaper?
Probably not, because I don't think people really necessarily read the newspapers
Got it?
as much as we would like them to.
Making up a few
And-
things to putting in the grocery stores that doesn't really even cost any
So
money.
there
But
is-
the signs,
LCFR has a little bucket at Sentry, so people can donate money. I was surprised to not see a QR code on that little sign there, so I can talk to the chief about it.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing, though, is, as I recall from previous referendums, is we as a town need to be very careful on, we can't necessarily say, vote yes.
Right, correct.
It's really the education piece of why we're asking for the additional money, why, because the staffing model's broken, we don't have paid on call and volunteers anymore. We're moving to a full-time fire department, and that costs additional dollars. And we're doing this to maintain and provide a high level of service, to eliminate brownouts, and to reduce the response times that are currently there. So it's really trying to, build that awareness and get that education out there. I mean, I know I was disappointed when I read in the, the survey results. You're always going to have a handful of people who are going to say, I don't want to pay any more money to support the fire department until they need the fire department. So, you know,
I think if we can, obviously, while within the realm of not necessarily endorsing or pushing it, give a brief timeline of how we got to where we're at, right?
Okay.
Broken model of paid on call, increase or a faster move to full-time employment for the fire department and staffing, and the, scheduled plan and hiring, right? So it's a little bit of kind of like what happened, where we're going, and this is the difference, right? Here's the timeline, past here to here. At this point, more of a very just factual, bulleted, this is what happened, this is where we are, this is where we want to get to. And then maybe if there's a couple like frequently asked questions that we can fill in back there, right?
I'd like to help you on that.
yeah, basically what we did last time. I mean, it worked, you know.
But you have to keep it simple and
Yeah, it's gotta be-
brief,
I think if
right?
you-
Because otherwise people are going to lose it, you know.
But if you have those kind of like, I don't know, 6 or 7 bullet points max,
Yeah.
right? And are able to put that on the town Facebook page, on the town website, that's something then that everybody can share and
Okay.
at least kind of start that being the first image they see of when we're asking for a referendum is a whole lot easier to then read and be like, why are they asking for this? Rather than be like, oh, great, they want more money, right? Like, here's the history, here's the plan, here's what we're doing, this is why it's important. And ideally get in front of, get some of the questions answered and the timeline laid out before people draw their own conclusions to it.
Okay. How many informational sessions do you guys want to have?
2 or 3.
2 to 3.
The goal is prior to that, we would, whether it's Facebook groups, websites, signs, we're going to have a link that's going to have all the things that we just talked about, that Joe just mentioned, and we're going to try to get a lot of these answered and then still have the live sessions. That's the overall goal, right?
Right.
Okay.
And, I mean, when you look at the timeline, we still got a partner that's got to come to the table and, we got to get a long-term deal done here. So, right now we got a 1-year deal and the clock's ticking, so.
February 11th at 11 a.m. Open meeting, if anyone's bored.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Yep.
Item 9, new business. Consideration of an ordinance creating Chapter 8 entitled Public Works, Section 8.03 entitled Evacuation in Public Right-of-Way, subsection 8.03, paren 4, entitled Above Ground Installation, subsection 8.03, 4, paren E, entitled Property Damage, and subsection 8.03, paren 5, entitled Maintenance of Right-of-Way, and subsection 8.03, subsection 6, entitled, or paren 6, entitled Public Nuisance of the Town of Delafield Municipal Code.
So we do have bits and pieces that are already in our code that can help us with some of the items that have come up lately. So we have had somebody fell a bunch of trees from their yard and then put them in the right-of-way and then leave them there. And they are very large, probably at least 3 feet in diameter tree trunks that are approximately 15 to 20 feet long. And they shouldn't be in the right-of-way. Our plow truck ends could hit that. If somebody's, if somebody crashes into that, that could be a bigger problem than just crashing into the ditch. We've had people that are putting, little free libraries in the right-of-way. Their sprinklers looping all the way into the right-of-way. Or their invisible dog fences, which break fairly regularly. And even just people that don't like it when the ditch holds water will fill the ditch with mulch, just so that they don't think the water will sit there when that's what the ditch is supposed to do. So we want a little bit more teeth so that we can tell people you need to get the stuff out of the right of way. For example, when they come in and they're doing that fiber optic cable, they're breaking these dog fences and these sprinkler systems. And generally speaking, the town is not responsible, and neither is the contractor, for anything that's placed in the right-of-way without our approval. The homeowners want us to replace those pieces, but they shouldn't have been there.
4 feet?
It depends on how wide the road is. So it's 33 feet from the center of the road on either side. Sometimes the lines are a little weird if the road has changed based on, pavings and so forth. But for like county roads, it's like 60 feet or something like that. So we just want to add some of these extra pieces. This has gone through our municipal attorney, just so that we can do a little bit more to get them to get that stuff out of there.
Has anyone not agreed to remove the things from the right of way?
We have issued tickets specifically for the person's felled trees, and right now we're at a standstill because we don't have any other options. If we are able to change this, we can either issue another ticket or we would do it ourselves at his cost and put it on the tax bill.
Kind? Not in compliance?
From what I understand,
What was the question, Joe?
Is there a reason behind the non-compliance?
when they took the trees down and moved them to the right of way, they had a working bobcat. Now the bobcat does not work, and they have no way to bring the trees back over onto their property. But it's been over a year.
No, I think it's a good ordinance. It, it provides another tool for the town to enforce the rules. Our attorneys looked at it and signed off on it. So I would recommend that we adopt the ordinance and give, more tools to make sure that people are respecting the right of way and understand that, town's not gonna be responsible for things placed in the right of way without coming to us and asking for permission, so.
Well, I was gonna say, and so I guess when you have people who've got like sprinkler heads in the right of way currently, invisible dog fences, whatever, this isn't asking them to back them up necessarily. It's
Right.
really just kind of like, hey, it's an easier way to say, look, here's another line item that says it shouldn't have been there and we're not paying for it.
Right.
It's more of the nuisance items like felled trees and miscellaneous stuff in the right of way that's going to be impacted by enforcement of these, right?
So specifically as an example, in the new subdivision, when you see their front yards, it goes straight out to the curb, or that's not really, I can't remember what the correct term is, but where the concrete starts.
Got it.
There's no ditches in a lot of the subdivisions, so when people are like, oh, I'm going to do sprinkler in my grass, they're going to go all the way to the curb and not really understand that that's not really where they should be. We don't particularly mind until we have to get in there and do something. The odds
So
of
they
us
complain.
having to do something there are slim, but you never know. Like, I never thought people would go rooting around with fiber optic cable in every single corner, but that could happen in subdivisions maybe, I'm not sure. But we don't want to have to replace those.
Right.
Yeah.
Are there any other subsections or sections, as I'm reading here, of our existing ordinances, kind of like this, that we need to, or maybe this is just something to think about for the future, if, is that we need to look at or tweak for, now that we're looking at this and we're all kind of like, oh, yeah, we could clarify this, it might be.
Yep. There's a couple pieces that we want to look at. We're going to be doing the entire code to make sure that no two pieces are contradicting each other, because we do have that sometimes in there. And there's also just a general piece of, maybe garbage is not the right word, but outside storage, we'll call it, or something to that effect, where there's a few places that the neighbors don't have any avenue for a person to clean up all their outside stuff. So we're going to see what that means, kind of copy what the county has, just so we can get people to either like put it away or throw it out or just not let it sit there and rust. That would include inoperable vehicles, vehicles without tires, vehicles up on blocks, and other stuff like that. Hoop houses that are not really being hoop houses anymore, kind of dilapidated and stuff. We're going to see what we can do about something like that. We've had some complaints about that stuff too.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any it's not, if it, I'd take a little more exception to it if it was telling everybody who are, like, might have something already there to go rip it
It's
out.
complaint-based and/or if we are
Right.
in there, or if it's like rerouting water onto the road, then
Right.
we
And
do
it's just
something
a, hey,
about it.
You shouldn't have been here,
Yep.
is what it is, yeah. All right, well, and this is final draft, is this?
Yep.
Is this got it acceptable?
Yep, I would send the one for signature to Ed tomorrow.
Motion to approve the ordinance creating Chapter 8 entitled Public Works as proposed to the municipal code.
Motion.
Motion and second to adopt the ordinance creating the Chapter 8 entitled Public Works. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Next item, consideration of the purchase of a salt spreader.
All right, so I'll kind of recap the recent happenings for the trucks for the people at home. During one of our most recent snow events, one of our plow trucks on the back end threw a belt. And we call it the small belt, but it's worth approximately $3,000. It is not something that's produced anymore by the original manufacturer of the vehicle. And so we do have to get it made special. And when we went to go order it, the company that we originally went to was purchased by a different company, and they were in the middle of the merger at the end of the year. So they kind of put us on hold for a while, and they indicated that the lead time on that would be approximately 30 days, not more than 60 type of deal, but they weren't sure when the merger was going to be complete. On top of that, the person that we were originally dealing with retired abruptly, and so our request kind of got lost in the mail, so to speak. While we were waiting, though, we were thinking about some alternative options because it's a very long time to be without a vehicle, specifically a snowplow. And looking at what we've paid in the past for the small belt being $3,000, the large belt being $5,000, and the Ram being $2,500, the cost of a new electric salt dog spreader is just under $12,000. So we were wondering if the town board would like us to continue with the belts and the Rams, ordering them individually, having them made, and then putting them on ourselves, or if you think we should forego that, take off that back unit, since the truck itself is still good and readily usable, take off that back unit and put a new salt dog spreader on there. So we were kind of, it's going to be roughly the same cost either way, but we wanted to see if the town board would be interested in having a newer piece of equipment that, allows us to not have to replace these belts and or the Ram, and also allows us to have more control of the salt that we're putting on the road, or if you want us to keep keeping.
Relatively, I mean, I guess I'm familiar, I have customers that have these, so I know what we're talking about here a little bit on the salt dog piece. I'm not familiar necessarily with the capacity of the truck that's having the belt problems, but I would assume that the capacity of the salt dog's got to be a lot smaller than
They're actually the same.
they're the same. All right.
This is like for like size-wise.
Okay.
Have we had a belt problem before?
So we've had this for 11 years and we're,
Three belts.
yeah, but 3 of each size, and then at least 2 Rams that I could find.
And I'm reading that it's still, you can still control the town's current salt brine application with the new one, with the new salt dog.
It's actually more responsive.
Yeah. I mean, it seems, my gut feeling is, why keep putting bad money into something when we can start over?
Would Joe any claims
Yeah,
on the
I
salt
mean,
spreader?
Nope.
Any,
No, they you just got to make sure they're mounted correctly.
Right.
okay, fair enough.
So,
Right.
but yeah, no, they have a couple of them, right? So I'm assuming they have, this is a more commercial application. The ones that my customers run are generally either in the bed of a pickup truck or if you've taken the bed off and you've got one that's a little larger, but it's still like a pickup truck size. So I'm sure Salt Dog makes them large enough. But that would have been my only concern is like, well, if it's, you know,
So we would
half
be
the
able
capacity,
to,
right? Like,
yeah,
that's a
no,
whole
that's
lot back
definitely
and
not.
forth.
We would be able to take this off in the summer and use the flatbed for all other things within the town, which would also be very helpful.
yeah, they're pretty slick. I
But we're
mean,
also
Yeah.
in the core of winter, so we need another truck to work, right?
Right,
So,
right. And the
I mean-
truck still has a lot of life left in it. I think it only has about 42,000 miles on it. So, I mean, we've got a bit that we can use this truck till still.
do we need to take the bed off to mount the new Salt Dog on it though, or is it?
So the current unit is all just one, so we would take it off,
Yeah.
mount a flatbed, and then mount this Salt Dog on
Well,
there.
how soon could we get a new,
The lead time on
spreader.
this Salt Dog, I put it in
the
here.
2 to 4 weeks
2
here,
to
but
4
like a
weeks.
house, like best case scenario, a month from now?
Right.
Have it operational?
Right, yeah.
Is there a aftermarket for a broken Swenson live bottom spreader that we could sell?
We would
or get some
absolutely
trade-in?
try and sell that on
Okay.
Wisconsin surplus. I'm sure somebody would
Okay,
scoop
that
it
would
up.
that would be part of it. We
Yep.
would get, so, yes, we would. Okay, well, I'm good with motioning to approve the expenditure in excess of the administrator's purchasing authority for a Pro 6000 Salt Dog spreader in the amount of $11,727.60, plus
second.
freight.
A second.
One quick piece.
Oh, sure.
So is that include the like flatbed portion to?
The guys apparently can do the flatbed and they don't need anything,
Wonderful. Okay.
so.
There's a motion and a second to approve the expenditure for the Salt Dog. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Next item, announcements. Next town board meeting is Tuesday, July 27th at 6:30. The next LCFR board meeting is Wednesday, January 28th at 5 o'clock at Station 42 in the city of Delafield. And then the next plan commission is Tuesday, February 3rd at 6:30 PM.
The
Just,
LCFR meeting
On 2/11.
on 2/11, February 11th at 11 a.m. is also at Station 42. It is to discuss the negotiation and adjustments to the IMA, and it is a public open meeting, so.
and then just for those watching home, it's January, the next town board meeting is January 27th.
Correct.
Yep.
Your motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Motion and second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. We adjourn 5-0.
7:07.